There we go. Your computer might ask you something. And so all you have to do is click it. It is February, the 1st of February. We have, literally said goodbye to January. So it's the 1st of February, 2022. So it's 212022. That has to mean something special, I'm sure. And some of you have mentioned it's a new moon today. That's right. In Aquarius. And it's all about, change and big shifts. But like I said before, I was thinking about what should we talk about. And first of all, before I give it away, I want to say hello. Amber, great to see you with those beautiful northern lights. Eddie, wonderful to see you. And Anne is here. Good to see you, Anne. Scott, missed you. Good to see you. Here's Susan. Great to see you, Susan. Simon, welcome. Good to see you. There's Anne with her beautiful background there. Catherine, great to see you. Susan Johnston, great to see you. Rima's here. Double Rima. That's good. That's good. Really excited for you, Rima. Good to see you. Sarah's here and Karen. Hey, Sarah, how you been? Good to see you. Liana's here. Love you, Liana. Good to see you. Here's Nadea and Gail and Angel and Kyra and Joseph and Angel and Jay. All right. And many other are coming online as we speak. I'm going ahead and mute you, but of course you can always unmute yourselves. And so it was a really interesting conversation here at the beginning. Y'all, and Amber has this beautiful background with the Northern Lights. And the Northern Lights is something that is on my, I need to see them in this lifetime. So it's definitely going to happen. But something so beautiful is that it's interesting because, we can see them at a particular space in a particular time. And it's kind of, almost like an optical illusion because those energies and those rays, they're there all the time. And that ties into what I wanted to talk about today, because today I figured, why not? Let's talk about unraveling your fullest potential. And so, I was just teaching this class right before this call. And I think as a teacher, it's pretty awesome. And everyone can relate from other standing points, like a mother or friend or whomever it is, when you're looking at someone else and you have this opportunity to guide them, right? And that's in that kind of setting. Oftentimes we can see potential. We can see this hidden potential. Like we can see that there's more space, that there's more ability, that there is more for them. Maybe they can't see it at that point in time, but we can see it. And that's an interesting thing. I see Amber going yes, and Susan going yes. So definitely y'all know what I'm talking about. And as a teacher, as a mother, as a parent, as a friend, we always have to be very careful how we relay this message, how we deliver, what we see versus what they are able to see, because everyone has to arrive at this understanding on their own. It's one thing to say, even with these Northern Lights, right? If you come to this point at this time and this hour, you'll be able to see this thing. But until that person gets on the plane and takes the trip and goes in that place and lays out, like you were saying, Anne, and looks up into the sky, you're not going to see the Northern Lights. Okay. We all know they're there. We all know what's going on, but we don't, until we make that effort to see it for ourselves, or they make that effort to see it for themselves and to be willing to transform, to be willing to do the work. And sometimes it's a lot of effort that needs to go into that personal transformation. They won't be able to see what you see. And this idea of potential is interesting because we'll see all these slogans, right? Unlock your hidden potential, or let's unravel your biggest potential. It's all those kinds of slogans. I'm sorry I didn't pull up examples before the call, but you all know what I'm talking about, right? Find your biggest ability to shine through your fullest potential, whatever. Unlock. That's another one that everyone uses. Unlock your fullest potential. And so I see these big slogans, and oftentimes they'll be like, wow, we'll catch ourselves. Wow. Okay. Maybe I'm not living up to my fullest potential. Maybe I'm not, exactly where I need to be. And somebody else can show me, somebody else can guide me. They'll know what to do. I can sign up for this thing. I can pay some money and I'll be guided. I'll be shown. And on occasion, right, where it's like this business, And Rachel has this proven system, and she knows what the potential of the market is and what she was able to do herself, and how she was able to unlock her truest potential. Then definitely, signing up for this program and paying the money and getting onto the calls and participating, right? Because it's not enough to just pay the money. We all know that. It's not enough. You have to show up. You have to do the work. You have to get on the calls. You have to interact with people, and you have to actually watch the videos and take action, right? It's not going to help if we just kind of think about it in our minds. We actually have to do some things. And so definitely it's a bonus to have the guidance of Rachel and someone with her expertise. And if you join the Launch 100 program, you have the guidance of coaches and more fabulous people that are part of this program. But, to have someone show you the true potential of the business, what is possible, what you're capable of doing. And the beautiful thing that we've established here in this community is then we get to share. We get to share each other's journey. We hear others' journeys. Oh, well, I sold out all my FBA mugs. Well, I've done this and this and this. Well, I'm struggling here. And we get to kind of be, witness each other's journey. We're not in it alone. But the thing, also along with that, we are going to have to do some internal work. We are going to have to ask the big questions. And that's, I think, what everyone that shows up here on these calls is what you're doing, because we have to be able to ask the hard questions. So how does someone unlock their potential? How do you go about doing that? You have to try things. First of all, you got to try it. You got to ask the questions, what moves you from the inside? What gets you excited? You have to attempt and try some things. Right now, all of you are trying this. It's funny how this chair is coming in and out of the view. I'll try to get it so that's not so distracting. And so I think it's my hand, right? Keeps on changing. Let's see if we can keep it. Anyways, so, we come onto these calls and we do we ask the questions and we do this kind of internal research, but it goes deeper than that. So we have to really engage. We have to try new things. So that's where I was going with this. Trying new things like this business that for a lot of you that joined is completely new, right? Some of you have been in the online business, some of you sell other things, and some of you, have been integrating this business with other businesses that you have. But for some of us, it was completely brand new, and the skill set that we needed to learn was completely different. And so at this point, we're tapping into our creative mind. We're tapping into our creative abilities, and we're looking to see how we can turn this into money, how we can really bring our business into this, full fruition, so that we can then collect on what it is that we're creating. And so we have to ask ourselves these powerful questions, and we have to, really stay engaged. So coming onto the calls, reading the books, checking to see what motivates us. And oftentimes it's going to be the long-term goals that we talk about all the time, right? It's not going to be, we're going to have these small goals. Okay, upload 5 mugs, 10 mugs. And Joseph, this is exactly what we're talking about. Exactly. The whole conversation is what happens if you don't know. Here is what we're talking about. Here are the ways to learn what your full potential is. And if you're doing it, where to find it is within you. So your full potential is locked in within you, and you ask the questions towards yourself. Sometimes we have a guidance of a coach, right? If it's, the Launch 100, or if me as a teacher, or a parent looking at a child, or a teacher at school, whatever it is, and you can kind of see this hidden potential, and maybe they can make a comment or give you, we give you extra books to read. We recognize that there is potential here, that if you engage and you read and you develop your own self-awareness and the way that you evaluate the world around you, you will change and shift. And so we give you recommendations. So where to start with the daily mode of operation, start with reading the book, start with journaling, writing down, start with the questions, definitely meditation, just like Scott, wrote in here in the chat, but we're moving along pretty quickly. So I want to kind of back it up and make sure that I'm kind of listing the things that I had in my mind to list. And we're going to open this to discussion. So if I forget anything, y'all will definitely, tell me and speak it up. So, where do we start was what we're talking about. And so we have to ask these deep questions, right? What motivates us? What moves us from the inside? What really gets us going? And again, like Joseph said, maybe we don't know, we have to try different things. We have to get ready and going. So if it's, for instance, exercise, right? Let's talk about exercise. Some people run a marathon. Some people just thinking about a marathon makes them tired, and they know that they're never going to do it. Some people, will love riding bicycles, but others, they're just, they won't mount anything or put anything on their feet. And that's something that you would know by now, right? We've lived a life. If you haven't tried anything, definitely try things and then make that decision. And sometimes it takes a couple of attempts. It's not enough to just try it one time. We have to repeatedly go back and try again and try new things, right? If I'm doing, if I'm teaching a class or if I'm working out or whatever, I always want to try new things to get my brain sharpened. I want to challenge myself to move towards something new, a new movement, a new muscle, a new engagement, a new awareness, mind-body awareness, in order to really grow and evolve on this personal level in this physical experience that we're having here. And so, really introducing new things, that's key to continue to try and to attempt. Now, when we bring it to this business, we actually say, in this business, you've signed up for something new. So don't go ahead and start signing up for all the things that are flashing up on your screen and trying a million things at one time. That's definitely not what I'm saying. We don't want to get into that shiny object syndrome and get distracted, right? So you've signed up for this. This is the new thing. This is the new thing that you're trying. And so you sharpen your saw, you sharpen your skills by trying new things in this endeavor all the time. So today you did mugs, tomorrow you do mouse pads, the next day you do t-shirts, and after that you reach out to different platforms and so on and so forth. So you're continuously growing in this aspect. So here's where you kind of create something new, right? And so that was an example, how you continuously expose yourself. And then, the questions, the deep questions, knowing your core values, what matters most to you, what makes you shine from the inside? What are you looking to improve on, right? What are you looking to grow? Is it money, just money? Okay, great. So how are you going to grow the money? What are you going to do with that? And what is your end goal, right? What are you really working towards? That's going to be a big factor in guiding you towards this transformation. And so potential, let's take it into, let's keep it in the gym, right? A gym is an easy one to give an example. So in the gym, right? So you begin in the beginning and you're maybe lifting zero weight, maybe just a bar or something really light. But you're able to see the people around you and see what potential a human being might have. Does that mean that you're in a race with them? 100% not. You are only looking at yourself and what you're doing. But you're able to see this potential for you. If you continue to come to the gym, if you continue to do these reps, if you do this routine, if you keep on going, you will, eventually build muscle strength, and then you'll be able to lift more weight. And so, that is a way for you. So now your trainer might be able to look at you and say, hey, I see that this weight is so light for you. You can go ahead and up the weight. So he sees this potential for more. And then you start raising the weight and so on and so forth. So that was like an example from the gym that's pretty easy to understand. Now let's think about this business now and bring it back to the business. So first of all, we started with, let's say, Etsy, like Rachel recommends, right? She starts with Etsy. But we already hear the potential that we have on Amazon. We already know, we hear these numbers and the millions and the billions that are being sold and all this stuff, what's available and how many millions are shopping online and how many are Amazon Prime users. I mean, the numbers are amazing. We share some of these numbers with you on the business strategy session. You can Google these numbers, it's information that is out there. But when you really hear the potential of your business and how enormous it is, you're not in some kind of corner lot, with a store that you're paying rent for, and you only get the potential of the people that live around you or the people that are driving around that area, or if it's a touristy place, how many tourists come to visit. Or, your potential is global. And it's millions and millions of users. That's the potential that you're in. That's the potential that's available for you. And that's huge. So just understanding that as in terms of your business. Let's go a little bit deeper take it into yourselves, because Joseph was asking a personal question. How do I know what my potential is? All right. So, you ask the difficult questions, you ask the hard questions. Am I living right now my life to the fullest? If you don't know the answer today, that's fine. You continue to ask that question until the answer comes. You continue to move forward with our daily mode of operation, rising with an attitude of gratitude, reading books, asking the hard questions, asking the questions of what it is that you want to achieve in this lifetime, what it is that you're trying to create, that moves you, what it is that you are, what do you feel is your purpose here, right? That's a big one. We're not going to get into purpose today, but we're talking about potential, right? What is, when you are living through an experience, when you are taking part with something, do you feel like it moves you from the inside and you're giving it your all? That's another good gauge, right? We can give a gauge of 1 to 10, how much we gave our all in. And it can be a physical thing, it can be a mental thing, it can be a presence thing. How present were you during that conversation that you just had? How present were you while you were sitting with your friend in the coffee shop and just having a chat? Were you on your phone? Were you checking your emails? Were you already actually thinking about the next task, right? So we can check, we can see how much we are engaged with a certain activity and how much of ourselves we are, is participating with that specific task. So if we're, sitting in front of our computer and uploading mugs, did we really, pay our full attention to the task on hand, or were we distracted by a pop-up, by a commercial, by a phone call, something like that? Focus, right? But focus is one area where you're just kind of staying focused on something. It's a good word to use. And I'm thinking about really awareness, because to understand where you're, what because the question is, how do I know my full potential? We have to become aware of ourselves in our mind, body, and emotion stage, right? Mind, body, spirit, emotions. Those are the 4 realms that we exist on all the time. And so when we're able to really hold ourselves accountable for that, so be in that space of where we were, right? Consciousness, right? Consciousness can travel. Where was your consciousness? If you were driving in a car and you suddenly landed in some other place that you didn't mean to, were you consciously there in your car and driving? So that's kind of what I'm relating this to. How much of yourself was involved in the task at hand? So you're using the word focus, right, Susan? So focus, but also presence, consciousness. Are you embodying your body in this task right now? Are you fully here, or are you thinking about other things? Are you doing something on your phone? Are you doing something else at the same time? Are you driving? Are you working? Whatever. And so that's kind of those hard questions where we need to evaluate ourselves throughout the day and what we're doing, and not just get through the motions, not just kind of get the task done and on to the next, get the task done and on to the next. That's a good system, to check things off of our list. But to really live life fully and to our fullest potential, we have to bring in that awareness to the things that we are doing, so that we can see new opportunities, so that we can see, how we're going about this. Maybe this is not the right way and we can choose a different way, right? How are we going to know if we're not fully aware? So, all right, I think I gave a lot of information here to digest. Let's open this up to what you think. I see already 2 hands are up, Susan and Eddie. And the question really is around this idea of potential. And the questions that went into the chat are awesome. How do we know, and how do we move forward, and how do we find out? So Susan, let's hear from you.
Hello. So this is very good. And sometimes it takes a long time and many years to actually, there I am, find your full potential, for your potential to start actually coming to the surface. I've tried many, many things over the years, and it's only this year right now that I'm able to, that it's coming to the surface. I have my days when I slack off and it's like, oh, I just don't want to do that. But I come back right away. Instead of before, I would just watch TV the next day and forever thereafter instead. And where you're you know when you're reaching your potential, I think, when your whys are strong enough and your determination is strong enough and you're really willing to put in the work. And that's what I like about this program also, is that, you know, yes, some of the steps are easy, but never has anybody said, this is easy. This is easy to make money and, you know, to do this. And because it does take work and it is hard and it does take a lot of hours and dedication, and keep coming back. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
I love it. Thank you, Susan, for sharing. Really, no, but see, I hear you sharing from the space that is so powerful to you. Like you're going through this transformation right now. And this is like awakening from the inside. You feeling yourself like, wow, this is me. I'm awakening to all this stuff and these new feelings and these new opportunities. And someone said, you know, we never really know our full potential. That's the beauty of potential, that it is a never-ending growing spiral of evolution. You know, you get onto one edge and then it keeps on moving and you keep on growing, keep on growing, keep on growing. And, you know, what would happen if we ever reach the top? I mean, that would kind of be a bummer.
And you have to find something else, like
exactly
to rise to.
Exactly. I think my son once had a really beautiful analogy. He was much younger at the time, might have been 9 or so, and we were on a hike, and he said, "I understand life." He said,
at 9 years old.
Yeah, exactly. He says it's like a video game, right? You reach one level and then there's another level above it, and you just keep going and keep going. And the levels are never ending. You just have to keep learning and keep going and one more level and another level, and it's never ending. And I was like, yes.
How perfect is that?
Right. And we can have these analogies to like a mountain or a mountaintop or a spiral, or, you know, just that continuous growth. But I love what you said about you feeling it on the inside right now. And you said there is a lot of work that goes into it. There is a lot of effort. No one said, here, handed it to you. Here you go, Susan. This is the recipe. Go put it in the CD or in the mixer, and you've got your cake baked for you, and that's it. No.
Right.
To put in the time, and we have to explore, and we have to look deep, and we have to ask the hard questions. We have to put in the long hours to really be able to bring this business to where we want it to be. It's you know, unless we go with the Launch 100 program, of course there are things that are done for you, but in this case for us, the LHS, you know what I mean? We need to do it. And so that's kind of what we are speaking to right now. I like that Kyra said, you're speaking for me, Susan. Thank you for sharing. So isn't it great when you speak, how you're able to touch other people? I love it. Eddie, there's Scott. I was wondering if you're coming. Here's Eddie. Oh, you got to unmute yourself, Eddie. There you go.
All right. Hello, everyone. And I'm glad to be here. And, you know, Karen, I always find these subjects that, and you know, what direction you go in when you start talking, because it's a lot here. But I always think about Jim Rohn.
Yeah,
said, don't ask for things to be easy. Ask for better skill sets. You know, I was a person, I remember being afraid of everything. I mean, as a kid, the dark, and I was the leadership in the family. I had to kill the mouse that was running around the house, or a bug that's flying around or walking on the wall, and everybody, I had to find the courage at 9 and 10 and 11 years old to eradicate these beasts. You know, believe it or not, a possum came in the house one time. Get the possum! Oh my gosh. And that thing, so that's a creature. Anyway, I had to deal with the challenge of fear, and I had to really examine that, because people, when you conquer fear and doubt, that's the game. Seriously.
Right.
Look. Karen's talking about sports. The Cincinnati Bengals are going to be in the next Super Bowl.
Right.
No, seriously. This guy, I always listen to these interviews. Joe Burrow talking to these big, high-powered sports, guys out here where they got their good pads and waiting to listen to what he has to say. And he told them this: I'm tired of y'all giving us the underdog status. We're a very good team. He said that with alacrity. 22 years old. I think that's what his age is. He just his second year in the league.
About 40.
And to think about it now, people, they hadn't even played the Kansas City Chiefs yet. This team that blew my team away 42-21. The Bengals hadn't been heard of since 1988, something like that. They were down 21-3. And I told people, I said, y'all are underestimating this defense. They stopped the Chiefs the second half and beat them in overtime in Kansas City. Now, what I'm saying is, I'm listening to the confidence of this kid. Now, I know he's a man, he's 22, but still, you got Tom Brady out there that had 7 Super Bowls and all these other people out, and he's out there talking about, I'm tired of the underdog status. We are a very good team, and that team is going, I know they all going crazy, can't wait to play. And they beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm talking about handled them. And everybody, and all these experts going, where did we go wrong? You didn't go wrong, he went right. What are you saying about your business? See, I'm looking at my job. Y'all see me on Tuesday, y'all see me on Thursday. Those are my days off. I'm tired of that. I put in for my retirement. I didn't know when I was going to retire, but I decided it ain't going to be my birthday when I'm 66. I'm good enough to do this now. I want to put the time into it. Potential, I've always played with potential, but business, and I won't say I failed at 18 businesses. I learned something from 18 businesses because all of them weren't a failure. I just didn't want to, I just wanted to make this big goo gobs of money and it didn't come. That's all right. I'm still here. Harlan Sanders was 65 when he started frying chicken. All I know is this. Potential, you get started. I've done a lot of things I was successful at. One of them was stop being a country geek and scared to speak to people and get up and speak with alacrity like a motivational speaker. That was one of my goals. I hear Mr. Baker up here. He's always talking about goals. That was one of my goals, to be able to speak and people don't laugh at me, except when I tell a joke that actually works. Yes. What do you want? I want a business that I can use my skills and talents. And I just like somebody was talking about Karen, her face is a moon and all that. Somebody say, that's a mug. See, that's an idea. You go pick this little Karen cups and they might go, whoa, viral. Oh, what's the Karen cup? I don't know, but I want one. That's how it happens. Be like Joe Burrow. Don't worry about the underdog stuff. Don't be, well, it's just too many bills. No, stop saying that. Stop saying I'm trying. That's something I took out my vocabulary. I do stuff. I'm telling y'all. I want to know, I promise you, I was running the equivalent of a marathon once a month when I was in my 20s. Because I wanted to know what my body could do. I didn't care how long it took. I just wanted people talking about, what is wrong with him? He's lost his mind. This book is called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's a book. I bought it because that's what I'm about now. I don't give a rip. I told my bosses, y'all don't like how I am. That's y'all problem. You're not writing me up. You're not firing me. I must be doing something right. Well, I'm about to do something right now. I want to put all the energy I got into building this LHS business because it is right up my alley. Putting language on something and people read it and say, I want that. Get excited about your business. Just like Dr. Phil says, I want you to get excited about your life. Well, this is your life. Get a skill set, bring them out here and use them. This is a wonderful opportunity, and we're in the middle of a business revolution anyway. Get on the wave and ride it like you're on the surfboard. Thank you for this opportunity to speak, Karen, and new moon to you.
Love it, Eddie. Dude, that was a powerful game. It was, and it was super surprising. And Susan's writing, even like both of her teams made it. It's a very interesting Super Bowl for us this year. And whoever doesn't know what we're talking about football. You know, the Super Bowl is coming up, so it's a big thing here in the U.S. and everybody gets excited in Canada. And so, yeah, that's what we were talking about. Eddie, always great to hear from you. Scott.
Morning, Karen. Morning, everyone. Very interesting, this topic. The thing that springs to my mind is that when we're born, you would think, and people do say this, that you basically can do anything you want. You have limitless potential. And it's been said that we only use like 2% or whatever of our actual potential. And I think the discussion has to be moved away from potential, because to me, when you talk about potential, you're talking about which label you want to use to limit yourself. Say, I can do this, but I can't do this. To me, it's all about labels, because you'll never go beyond how you label yourself and what you perceive yourself to be capable of doing. Or it is to me, it's 99% labels. So you start with no labels, and then you spend the rest of your life placing them on and fighting with them. I think the reality, and I think if one can assume reality at all, is that the potential is limitless to begin with. And the question is then to battle with those labels, to break free from the limiting labels that we put on ourselves. And I think that is a real challenge. I mean, you mentioned before that, we try different things and see how we feel and so forth. And I can understand that. But I think also, as I mentioned before, feelings can be very deceptive, because they basically arise out of past programming, and they're not predictors of the future, in terms of what you're capable of doing. And I think that has relevance in terms of the shiny object syndrome, because I think as long as you've got one shiny object, that's fine. It's when you have multiple shiny objects to select from, then you can't decide. It's like last call we had with the gentleman Shark. He was talking about the donkey trying to choose between to drink or to eat, and eventually died from starvation because he couldn't decide. Shiny object syndrome is like that. But if you have one shiny object, then that's fine. And just make that the focus. And I think the feelings will come. The feelings will come. But if you wait for the feelings, you'll never do anything. I mean, children wait for feelings, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, we don't have time for that luxury. To me, if you want to decide, if you're a soldier and you're going to battle, you don't have time to wait for the feeling to come, because there are bullets flying over your head and the commander's telling you to go. That's it. You work your feelings out later on. Get the job done. I think that we have to have that sort of warlike mentality. There is one shiny object. That's what we're going for. And nothing else is relevant. And I think that frees us of a lot of indecision. Just make a decision. End of game. Do it. Get on with it. Whether you like it or not, whether you feel like it or not, don't trust those feelings, because they will take every joy and every manifestation of your potential away from you. So, and they'll catch up. If they don't catch up, to hell with them. Do it anyway.
I like how you started off when we're children. There's this whole philosophy, because we are limitless, and it's, that your child is born, they're a blank slate. Literally, that child can know, 27 languages, right? And so what we do as parents, we slowly limit them to English or to whatever language you have decided to teach them. And if it's 1 or 2 or 3, that was your choice, and you taught them that. But it's not suddenly this huge, like, they can speak, all these languages, because we limit. And it is the process of a lifetime where we have to continue to expand and grow this potential, to grow the things and the way that we see ourselves and see lives. It's really a shift in perspective. And so, you're right. Oftentimes we have these labels that keep us from doing things. Oh, I can't do this, or I'm too tired, or I'm too old, or it's not the right time, it's not whatever, and you label yourselves with things that prevent you. But I think that it is important to continue to try and move in a direction that is aligned with what you're trying to achieve in life. It is important to change out and to do things. That's why we always say, even in our daily mode of operation, we want you to get your blood pumping, to move the creative juices around, to get yourself moving, to get yourself going. You have so many different options in how to move your body and how to get going, but definitely moving and taking action and moving forward is imperative in this personal transformation, this journey that we're on. So I like that. I see my grandchildren as limited beings, but the things keep them limited, right? Because then there are limitations of where we can go in life and what we can do and how much money we have in the bank and blah, blah. But can we then break through all of that and see, realize the potential that we want to see in ourselves, like the potential that you see in your children? Can't save transcript. I don't know how to help you with that one, Michael. All right, we got Melinda, and then we will wrap it up. Let's see. Transcript. Melinda, you have to unmute yourself.
Okay, I think I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I just really appreciated what Scott just said about just make a decision and go with it, because our feelings are so wrapped in our circumstances. And so one of the things that I'm really working on is I made a decision and I'm living with that decision for 30 days. I'm just going, I want to say balls to the wall, but it's probably not appropriate, but just all out, giving 100% to this decision, these tasks. I'm going to do this full on for this period of time. And then I'll think about how did I feel after a month's passed, instead of thinking about how do I feel today? Because today I usually feel like sleeping in almost every today, but I'm getting more energy and getting used to this getting up early and doing these routines and these things that are in the books that have really been helping me out in more ways than I ever expected. So thank you.
There you go. I love that. I love that. And that is part of your transformation. I know, we spoke on the phone, and the journey that you've gone on and the way that you're integrating everything with your life, you're really bringing this in, full force, and you're giving it your all, you're giving it your go. And I love, the way that you're committed and that you do show up, and you're right. We have to, I would say, even sometimes, depending on what you've, agreed to, it might take longer than 30 days. And if we think about some of those books that we read, they always say rich people make decisions quickly and stick with them for the long term. Whereas poor people mindset, it takes you a long time to make a decision, and you switch it often. So you kind of change your mind all the time. And so it's kind of, if I take exactly what you said and just even push it, sometimes it's farther into the future, and we really need to hang in there. And then we start to see the results that we're looking for. Even with our business, sometimes 30 days is not enough. Not enough 30 days. We have to get everything running. It can take Amazon, 2-3 weeks to get back to us and get our account set up. So what is 30 days compared to that, right? So it's just, it's a really good thing that you said. Just sometimes those 30 days might not be just related to whatever it is that we're doing, right? But in general, what you said is very, very true. And I love that. All right. Anybody else has something to share before we wrap it up?
Yes, can I say one thing? Yeah.
Yes.
I've lived my life by five-year plans.
Okay.
And when I first got married, my husband and I decided in 5 years we were going.
Oh, for me, it froze up. I don't know for everyone. Yeah, everyone. Pat, you're frozen for us. I hope we get you back. It looks like she might be completely frozen. Okay, we're gonna give. Oh, there you are. There you are. We see you now.
Okay.
5-year plan. We heard you only in the 5-year plan.
We're going to own our house without a mortgage. We were going to own new cars. We got married while we were in college. So we said we're going to finish our college and be ready to start our family. I used to walk an extra 2 blocks to save a nickel on the bus. And I used to give up my snacks at work. And the other secretaries teased me all the time. What on earth is 30 cents a day going to do for you? And I looked him in the eye and said, in 11 months, it's going to give me a month and a half sprint.
Ah,
And that's the way we looked at each other. I mean, those 5 years, we scrimped, we saved, we worked. We were always working at least 2 jobs. And it was hard, but we knew what our goal was. And one of the happiest days of my life was I was on a bus 6 years later going home, and one of the secretaries got on the bus and saw me. And she said, "Oh, we talk about you so often, about how idealistic you were. And how did you do?" And I said, "Well, it took us 6 years because we decided to go for our master's. And we bought a vacation house. But we did it. We did it, every bit of it." Now, my mother was a waitress all the time I was growing up. She got married when I was about 14, and then she didn't work anymore. When my brother and I finished our education, she was, "Go for your doctorate, go for your doctorate." We don't want to. We're happy where we are. We don't want to do any more school. If you want somebody to get their doctorate, you get yours. 50 years of age, she went back and got her GED. When she finished her bachelor's, when she was working for her master's, she started teaching. When she got to 70, it was the mandatory retirement. She fought it. She taught at university until she was 80 years old. And she finally decided she had enough. So you're talking about potential. She did not see her full potential, and she lived to 100, and she studied and she taught, not in the college, but in church, in other places. And I retired thinking, "Oh, now I can travel, now I can do this." Well, I did my traveling, and then I decided I want to go to seminary. And I've been taking classes, and my 5-year plan until I'm 80 was to finish seminary. And then this came along. And I hear my children talking about how expensive education is now. And I said, "I've got to find some way to build up an education fund so that, I can leave them something where I can at least pay for part, of their education." So at 78, I've changed my 5-year plan. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to have at least $1 million in an education fund by the time I'm 80.
it's beautiful. I love it. And I love that, you're sharing exactly that journey of how the plans came into fruition, and you've seen it through, and you did it and did every little part in order to get to where you were going. And that is beautiful. And that's true power. And, the idea of looking at your mother and how she, no matter the age, right, she was able to transform and go after what she wanted. And that's huge. I think that's a big, big understanding. It's something that I speak about a lot. It's no matter the age, no matter the stage, you can do it. You can do it. You can transform, you can change, you can reach your fullest potential. You can reach for your fullest potential, right? Put that arm out there and reach for it. I love it, Susan. And so, if we already acknowledge that it's always moving and always rising, and it's a never ending climb, that is the beauty of the journey. So thank you for sharing, Pat. I saw Irene's hand go up, but then down. Irene, do you still feel like talking? Irene Jones. If not, we will say goodbye. I don't see it. Okay. So we have a help call after this. So what will happen is after this call, or right now, I'm going to close the call. And if you'd like some help from the students, you just come back in through the link that you joined this call originally. We have a surprise this week. I will be with you all week. So I will be here Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Surprise, surprise. John is taking some time off, and that will be awesome. So I look forward to seeing you here tomorrow. If you want that help call, then just join back in. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for sharing and for showing up. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.